Hello, hey, back again, just to talk about, give an update of what's going on in this idiotic world we're living in, this world of complete lunacy or dumbness. Um, there's no other way to describe it. I mean, we're in a world of complete lunacy and idiocy, and we're surrounded by it, and we're controlled by it. So, but my whole thing is, if we can just wake up at least one person a day, and that sounds small, but just one person, and that person can wake up another person. They can share information, and that will go a long way in terms of getting people to understand what's really going on, and understanding this lie, this evil lie that we're living in right now. And because basically, the people who are controlling what's going on in the world right now, this virus nonsense, uh, have the people that they control and most normal people like you and I entrenched in a cult, and a cult that is based on a lie, something that does not even exist, you know, which is this alleged illness from rural China. It's all a lie, you know. And you can talk to people, and you say like, how long are you gonna wear that dehumanizing, idiotic, psychologically uh, ridiculous mask? And they just look at you and say, huh? Almost as if, why are you asking me that question? You know. But the reason they say that is because they don't know. They're so ingrained in this cult that has been done to them by TV and these billionaires that are behind that they can't even think for themselves. They're just going to wear that mask as long as they don't say take it off. And I tell them, I said, you look in the mirror at yourself with that mask on that you've been wearing for over a year and a half. Do you feel alive when you look at yourself and other people? Do you feel alive? Do you feel like a human being? Because I know they don't, but they've never used basic intellect and common sense to think like that. You know, this stupidity still has borders closed, in some countries. We're talking about events, like live events, still being not allowed, or they still have only a limited amount of people that can attend. You must wear a mask. I haven't seen some where you have to get this evil injection just to do it, just to attend. I mean, this is, we're talking about massive dumbness on a worldwide scale. You know, I mean, you see, sporting events and people are forced to sit away from each other. I mean, where in human history have people been told to stay away from other people on a planet of people? Think about that. I mean, I'm asking people to use just their brains. You're on a planet inhabited by people, and you got one group of people telling you to stay away from people. Complete idiocy, lunacy. You know, people are fighting back. I know in Europe people have really fought back. And millions of people have protested, and that's a fact. I mean, you can go and find it. You will not find it on mainstream media. Forget that. And that's why people think, well, it's not happening, because you're looking at mainstream media. This is controlled by the evil, satanic people that are doing this to the world. So they're not going to show it. They're going to block, ban, not allow, censor all of the truth. But in Europe, people are fighting back. I've seen big protests over there. In the United States, people, they finally gotten rid of the idiotic, evil mask mandates in pretty much all the states now. And I do say evil because that whole mask thing is designed just to humiliate and dehumanize everybody on the planet, so that you can become accustomed of being a slave to these billionaires who are doing this. Take away your individuality. It's psychologically dehumanizing every time you put on that stupid mask. Let alone not being able to breathe fresh air and breathing in your nasty fluids out of your body, breathing that back in, and also looking like a monster. That's the only reason for that. But but I was saying though, in America, people are actually fighting back, and they know that we have that First Amendment, the right to bear arms. People were getting angry, and the government knows that. So they're like, we better calm down with this lunacy, this idiocy, this tyranny before people will get angry. But they're still trying to push this idiocy and this injection into everybody and control how we live based on this lie. But like I said, be bold and take that mask off. It's ridiculous. It's psychologically dehumanizing. Be a normal human and be bold. Don't be afraid to use your brain. And like I said, be a better human. Be on the right side of history. Don't participate in, for example, this virtual idiocy or lunacy, doing everything online because we got to stay away from other people. That's not normal. That's stupidity. That's lunacy. That's not how humans live. Taking classes and lessons online because you're supposed to be afraid to be around or near other human beings. Again, based on something that is a complete lie. Don't participate in that. You're feeding into this lunacy. That's what they want you to do. So they can keep you compliant and believing that there's some type of fear, medical fear around the world. We're in this walking hospital zone with viruses all around, which is a complete lie. And you see people still will say, well, if you even say, well, there is, something out there, it's just that they're exaggerating it. Well, if you say that, they have you hooked. You're part of the problem. Because now they can say, well, you just don't have the information to know how the extent of the problem. No, tell them no, there is nothing out there. There's nothing going on. There's no illness. And you're not going to fool me because I have intelligence. I have a brain to know that. Don't give me that nonsense, or you just don't know the extent of something. I can see with my own eyes. I don't need the TV to tell me. I can see, I've been in the hospital. I can see on the street, nobody's sick, nobody's dying. Nobody, zero. And people say, well, my aunt or my cousin died from it. No, they didn't. First of all, most likely you're lying because you're part of the cult. You've been brainwashed. But even if they did die, they died of a normal illness that has been around on the planet for millions of years. And that's it. I don't even trust doctors anymore. Other than to patch me up, if I have some type of, serious problem. But as far as getting their own honest advice, I don't trust them anymore because they're controlled. They're going to say what the people behind this want them to say, and that's what they've been doing for the past year and a half. I don't trust them, and I never will trust them ever again. I don't watch TV. Social media. I don't trust any of that anymore because I'm not going to sit here and turn on the TV and watch people wearing masks and talking about something that does not even exist, that has changed all of our lives for the past year and a half. That guy Fauci, that guy doesn't know anything more than I do about science or medicine. He's part of the billionaire elite that's doing this evil. It's a complete con man. And we must not stoop to their level. Let's be on the right side of history. That's why I make these videos. I want to be on the right side of history. When we're talking about an elite group of people. Now I know this is going deep, and you can look this up yourself. But this elite group of people, some people call them the Illuminati or whatever. But it's the wealthy people in the world. They go back hundreds of years since the time of Enlightenment. Believing that just a certain group of enlightened intellectual people and wealthy people know what's right for society. And back then, their societies were small. They didn't know about other continents. But now, of course, they know all about the world. And that same group has gone passed down of elite people, now wealthy, extremely wealthy billionaires who can basically control everything that goes on. Governments, the medical industry, which everyone has to participate in some way. And they have the technology to do it. They didn't have that before. With satellite TV, cable TV, smartphones, the internet, Now they can push their agenda, whether they want to depopulate the earth, or they think the earth is warming up. They believe that, and this goes back centuries, that only they have the intelligence to know how to run the world, and normal people like you and I, we don't have the basic intelligence to do that, and they can control it, but they want it based on their cruel, barbaric, tyrannical rules. They actually believe that. You and I, we don't have the intelligence, so they need to control it, and they can control the governments, and then the governments control us. And the way to do that, they had to find a way to scare us all into complying. So they come up with this nonsense about a virus going around killing everybody and making everybody sick. And then when everyone calms down and starts to wake up a little bit, they say more nonsense about a new variant of that illness is out there. Get back under your beds, hide, and keep buying, getting those tests so we can keep making billions of dollars. And I've talked about that before in other videos about how ridiculous that test is. And the guy who invented that said it doesn't isolate any specific virus. It's complete nonsense. It's just a money-making scam. You got people like Ted Turner, one of the richest men in the world, who donated $1 billion to the United Nations, which is behind this new agenda. Think about that. And that man has been talking about depopulation and all those things, just like the other billionaires in the world. $1 billion. Think about the money that they have. They can control all media, all medical community, pretty much the internet, so censor everything so people like you and I can't tell the truth about what's really going on. That's $1 billion. And that's just one person. Imagine the other money that's coming in. So basically, if you're a world leader, you say what they say. Just talk about this thing 24 hours a day, and have your media moguls, or we'll have them talk about it 24 hours a day, that everyone's dying, and it's never going to end unless we all get some evil injection in our bodies. Just talk about it 24 hours a day. Don't worry about having to prove anything, because we control everything else. So no one can come on and tell us that it's all a lie. And we'll just keep saying it's happening, and it's happening, and people will keep believing it. And that's exactly what's going on. So the cat is out of the bag. I mean, just do some basic research. Just look for yourself. And that group of people is growing. I mean, I saw where at least 500 people have become wealthy billionaires off of whether they're selling medical supplies regarding this virus nonsense, masks, hospital supplies, just become billionaires, and they're added to the group. So they're going to keep pushing this lie so they can just keep making more and more money. Sounds crazy, but it's true. I mean, they want complete control and power, and they will do whatever it takes now. They're not going to give up. What kind of person would tell you to wear a mask over your face and stay away from other people? These are cruel, evil, satanic people, and want to basically force the entire world to put some type of satanic injection to their body. And if you don't, something's wrong with you. When does that happen in world history? Calling us conspiracy theorists, which we know that word, that label, is a term to describe people who are basically intelligent, who are exposing the truth to make them look bad. So they call us conspiracy theorists. That's all that is. But even with all the facts that we know about what's going on, even with all the facts, you should have been able to know that this made no sense from the start with just your basic intellect and common sense. You should have known that. Nobody's sick, no one's dying, no one's even sneezing, no one's coughing. But they're telling you that everybody's sick and everyone's dying, everyone's sneezing and coughing, and it's because of some new rogue virus from rural China. That should tell you right there, it makes no common sense. It's completely illogical. Wake up. I just want people to use their brains. We're completely surrounded by mass stupidity and dumbness. I don't want to mince my words anymore. I know I'm risking being banned and censored on this outlet, but we have to wake up. I mean, I have to live in this nightmare, more than a year and a half, and people are still forcing this evil on us just to travel, just to go into stores. And don't think just because, well, maybe it's open where you are, that it's not. It's in the other places in the world. There's still cruel, tyrannical rules and restrictions just to go about your day-to-day life. And this has been going on for over a year and a half, based on something that's an obvious, brutal, tyrannical lie. And I know people have basic common sense. Use your basic common sense and your basic intellect. Just wake up and look for information that's out there. It's out there, but it's not going to be on the mainstream media because that's all controlled. Turn off the TV, find out the truth about what's really going on, and use common sense, and ask questions, and stop this absurdity. And let's end this, because we're at a war basically between good and bad, and some bad people are doing this. And just try to wake up at least one person a day. Just one person. All right. Until next time.